Said it was fine.
Yeah, but that is working.
Yeah. Alright. Alright. Take my pills.
Take your pills. Take your pills.
I got to see what I'm doing. My glasses are in here. Okay. I don't feel the best. Oh boy. Almost fell. Ouch, 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 ouch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back in the Bell Center from Montreal, Quebec. A special game for you this afternoon. A new season for both these clubs, the Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens, a rivalry that goes way back. Carey Price gets the start between the pipes. Back and ready to go for the Montreal Canadiens. And alternates tonight, Erik Källgren will get the start for Toronto. It was determined that Matt Murray might, but Källgren will be the starter on game one of the season. Toronto will go in their new Canada Day alts, and Montreal will go in their alts from the past. It's a special Canada Day matchup, but it's from Bell Center. Leafs, Canadiens, original six. Monahan has it here at center. Montreal, a lot of new requirements throughout the season, and here's the first shot as it's knocked down in front of the goal. Picked up again, ready. And there it is. Now trying to get it back ahead. Matthews in over the line. Austin Matthews looking for a lane. Dangles. He'll drop that back to the point for Hall, and it comes back out. Riley for Toronto. Spins at center. Nylander plays that over. Monahan on the turnover. Montreal enters the Leaf zone on the left wing. Drop back. And here's Petrie. In the corner, he'll find help in Monahan. Centering for Gallagher. Shot blocked on it back. Kicked away by Källgren. They get it back again. Gallagher. Back to Joel Edmondson. Up the corner boards. Gallagher, and he can't get that to the goal. Morgan Riley for Toronto. He'll just flip it down to Montreal ice and in deep. Chasing after that is Riley again, but Petrie has it for Montreal. Ahead on the wing to Jonathan Drouin, and here come the Canadiens inside. Looking for a shot. They're going to center that, and it's blocked. Rebound to the net, won't make it there. Picked up, and here come the Canadiens back inside. Sean Monahan on the right side. That goes back into the corner of the Leaf zone. Hit there. Huge collision. Almost halfway through the first scoreless. Here's Calle Jarnkrok, new acquirement of Toronto in the offseason. Picked up here by Petrie. Up ahead on the wing for Gallagher. In the Toronto zone, and it's turned over by Tavares. Gets that back to Jarnkrok. Here's Calle Jarnkrok. He'll fire that down. Just wide of the Montreal goal. Price hasn't really had any tests this first period as Toronto's still trying to find their feeding here in Montreal. Here's Toffoli. Up for Hoffman. In come the Canadiens to the net. Stopped by Källgren. Knocked that away. Here's Tavares back for Toronto. 8 to go in the period. And he'll just flip that back into the Montreal zone again. Savard in the corner for Montreal. Taken down. Huge collision. Plays that for Toffoli. Over to Hoffman. Here come the Canadiens on the left wing and inside. Back a shot. That's stopped by Källgren. They get it back. Savard. Here's Weidman. And it is going to be a weird kind of start to the season as another stop by Källgren down on that. Holding on for the Leafs. The Maple Leafs will have Matt Murray in net starting next period. I believe that's what it sounds like here at least. Here comes the faceoff. No goals scored here in the first 5:19 to go in the opening period. Canadiens and Leafs. Original six matchup to start the year. Belleville and the Marlies up next from Belleville. Here it's fired down by Bunting. Goes in and around. That will find help, but not in Zach Aston Reese as it's played ahead to Kirby Dach. Here come the Canadiens through center. Dach over the right side, looking in, drop pass to Dadonov, and that shot was blocked off a leg in front. They get it back, Dach, and a great stick by the Leafs in front. Now it's Zach Aston Reese the other way for Toronto, and he overskates the puck. Dadonov back to Dach, in come the Canadiens, a chance. That shot doesn't make its way to the net, and it comes back out. Canadiens regroup here at center ice. A special game for both teams to start the year. That's off a stick on a turnover, pass in front to Dach, and a great play by Toronto to get back again. Marner up to Austin Matthews. Time running out here in the first. Matthews winding up, waiting, shooting, and a blocker stopped by Price. 5 seconds to go in the period. It's rolled back to Carey Price. Matthews gets it back, looking for a shot, but the period will come to an end. We're scoreless through one here tonight at Bell Center. Stats after that first period of play. Montreal with 6 shots, Toronto with 1. The hits 2-1 Toronto. Faceoffs 2-0 Toronto. Power play's done. It's scoreless through one at Bell Center. Second period coming up. Welcome into the second period here tonight from the Bell Center. The Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs in the season opener. Scoreless through the first 20 minutes of play here tonight from Bell Center. One back by Toronto. The face-off to start the period. Marner along the boards. He'll bring it inside. Knocked down. Toronto only registered one shot in that first period. Montreal had 6. Played back into the Toronto zone. Marner will go in behind his goal and stop there. Now he plays it up the wing for Nylander. Now Matthews has it. And along the boards on the left wing, he fires it in. That goes all the way around for Joel Edmondson, and Montreal will get it out of the zone. On the right side, Marner. Matthews there to help out. Edmondson gets it back to Sean Monahan along the boards for Edmondson again. Monahan. Here's Petrie from distance. Redirected, stop in front. And another save by Källgren down in front of that. And a third try, it goes wide. Great defensive play by the Leafs. As another shot, Källgren knocks it down. Toronto's been on their heels in this game so far as Marner flips it back into the Montreal zone. Goes all the way around and in deep. Edmondson is back to it. Toronto in the corner fighting for it. Here's Gallagher ahead to Jonathan Drouin. Right sided in. Montreal again. A backhander deflects to the goal. They get it back. Stopped again. Erik Källgren. He's been sharp and he's going to stay in the rest of this game, as so we've heard. Picked up here by Edmondson. Up for Hoffman. Montreal in again. Haul back to defend. Here's a shot. It's off a leg to get it back, and Källgren is on top of it. Matthews to Calle Jarnkrok. Up the left wing side boards. In over the Montreal line. Still has help. He'll center that to the front of the goal. No one was there. Montreal back out of the zone again. Centers that on the wing to Toffoli on the left. Knocked off the puck, and it's Giordano will get it back. And it played ahead to Calle Jarnkrok. Looking for his first as a Leaf. Makes his way to the goal. And Price has that. Knocked down. Here's Simmons in front. And he stopped. Carey Price. 2 stops in a row as the Leafs try to outbreak here in the second period. 8:48 to go in the middle period. We're still scoreless from the Bell Center. Both teams having some good looks. Montreal with the better ones. But Erik Källgren has been sharp. Well, there was determination whether Källgren was going to start for the Marlies today back in Belleville, but called up to the Leafs to start the year is Matt Murray under the weather. Here's Giordano. Put that to the goal. Blocker aside by Price. Savard has it back. Here comes Montreal. 7.5 to go in the second period. And this special can today, it's a LGBTQ. Of course, recognition as well today is, if you're joining us, a special game to start the year. Dvorak to Suzuki. It's blocked. Bouncing in front of the goal, but Montreal couldn't settle it down. Simmons ahead. Here's Jarnkrok again. He's taken down. Simmons tries to poke it further. Christian Dvorak in, and he gave that away. Mark Giordano pokes it further. Dadonov, they got it by him. Here's Giordano. 4.5 to go in the period. Brings it inside. Now it's right back out. Zach Aston-Reese drops that back for Brody. And Dadonov has a break. He's stopped by Källgren. It's in. Off a Leaf and in the goal. And that's how Montreal will open the season on a scoring note for a 1-0 lead. And is it being reviewed? And there you go. It's a good goal. The horn was on for a second, and that comes on a second time to clarify it's a good goal. Dadonov robbed on a breakaway, and then TJ Brody puts it in his own net. And it is 1-0 Montreal. So the Canadiens have the first goal of this new season against the Maple Leafs late here in the second period for the only goal of the game so far. One back by Kerfoot, the pass ahead. Here's Kerfoot, drops that back over, and too many passes, and the Leafs lose it. Picked up here by the Canadiens and brought out to center ice. 2.5 to go in the middle frame. Weidman inside, knocked off. Drouin to the goal, and he fired that just wide. Montreal looking sharp early. Here's Savard. Back to Monahan. He'll center that for Weidman. Another pass, but Muzzin was there. Aston-Reese up for Michael Bunting, and here comes Toronto. Bunting drops that for some help, and it's off the boards and back out. 8 seconds to go in the period. Muzzin grabs it back for Toronto. Wilgren. Aston-Reese back down to Montreal ice a minute. And that will do it for this second period. Montreal has the only goal on the board through 40 here tonight from the Bell Center in a special game. Shots a goal in the hockey game are 12-4 Canadiens. It's 1-0 Montreal after 2. The hits 4-2 Montreal. Faceoffs 5-0 Toronto. No power plays. 1-0 Canadiens after 2. An own goal by TJ Brody. Yeah. Just wrong place at the wrong time for TJ Brody. He knocks it in his own net. Trying to get that puck out of there off the rebound off Källgren. Welcome into the third period here tonight from the Bell Center. Season opener that will be remembered if Montreal can hold on for a win against Toronto. They usually start every year with a loss against the Leafs here on home ice. Joel Edmondson plays that ahead to Sean Monahan. He'll bring it inside with a dangle to the net. The Leafs' next game is at home. The next four, actually, starting with the Washington Capitals, a back-to-back tomorrow. They are playing Washington after playing here in Montreal the night before. Here comes Gallagher inside. Riley pokes that free. Nylander far ahead. Austin Matthews takes off. He's to it. Shoots! That's stopped by Price, knocking it aside. Marner tries to drop that back for some help. Hall can't hold his ground. Drouin up the right wing side, gave that away to Hall. And Monahan caught offside for Montreal. Just about 4 gone here in the third period. Face-off 5-1 Leafs. 1-0 Montreal, they lead here in the third period. A new season. Draw one back by Matthews. Pass ahead. Here's Austin Matthews again. Matthews in on Price. Angles. Shoots and he scores! Austin Matthews. He strikes first for the Leafs. Their first goal of the year. And they tie it here in the third at 1. And there is number 1 for number 34 at 4:14 of the third period. Look at the release by Austin Matthews. It's a patience here. Dangle it between the skates and rip it by Carey Price down low. And we got ourselves a tie game. Look at that shot by Austin Matthews. The skill and the patience. And of course the release to finish off the duty. 1-1 early here in the third. We're tied from Bell Center. Draw one by the Canadiens at center. All along the boards, battles for it. Drouin back, Gallagher. Canadiens have it. Shot! Stopped by Shulgren. He snatched that down. Picked up again, and that's fired to the goal. Shulgren has that too. Nylander up for Austin Matthews. He was taken down in a hurry. Leafs can't clear. Drouin centers. Stopped again by Shulgren. Riley to Nylander. Here comes Toronto up the left wing side. They'll fire it into the Montreal zone. It goes around for Marner. Marner in front. Tries to center that pass. Tavares not there to help out. Monahan picked up here by Nylander. Nylander with the skill and the speed. He shoots and he ripped that high and wide. Ball back. Here's Morgan Riley. Steps in, shoots, and a stop by Carey Price. 10:48 to go in the third period. 1-1 from Bell Center. A tight season opener for both these teams. Both teams have had their looks here in this third period, and both goaltenders have been sharp to keep it even. Face-off coming here, left side of the goal. One back by Montreal, controlled here by Petrie. He'll center that for Hoffman. To Suzuki. Halfway through this third period, we're tied at 1. Yarncroke got back to defend. Suzuki centers to Foley, can't get that to the goal. Tavares plays it down the ice. And that will be another icing call against Toronto. Just under 9 to go in regulation time. We're tied at 1. So face off here to the right side of the Leaf goal. Just under 9 to play here. Draw one back by the Canadiens. Petrie to Edmondson. Trying to center that in deep. Hoffman. Leafs are standing around right now as Suzuki centers for Hoffman. To Foley. Blocked. Giordano ahead. Here's Kelly. Yarncroke for Toronto. 7.5 to go. Looking, waiting. He shoots. And a easy stop by Price. Standing tall. Gobbles that up in the equipment. Both teams have had their looks, obviously. Montreal Canadiens give up that tie goal, Austin Matthews, but you cannot stop that release of Austin Matthews. Only so long can you hold him off the score sheet, and then he finds a way to break through. Here's Wayne Simmons. He'll circle the Montreal goal, wrap around, he scores! Wayne Simmons! He strikes in game 1 of the year to give Toronto a 2-1 lead. With just 6:01 remaining, Toronto has a 2-1 lead on the Montreal Canadiens here in Bell Center. Simmons with goal number 1 on the year. And it feels good to be the Maple Leafs right now. 2 here in the third period to give them the lead. Draw one back. Here's Joel Edmondson through center. Montreal brings it inside on the right. They're battling now as a stop by Shulgren. Brody knocked free. Tavares up for Simmons. He'll fire that down into the Montreal zone. Goes in deep and he'll find help in Jeff Petrie. Toronto trying to get in there and cause trouble. Brought back out by Suzuki on the left wing. Giordano far past to Simmons. He'll center it across to Zach Aston Reese. Tried to settle down the puck. It could not. 3 to go, third period. Montreal down 2-1 to the Leafs in this season opener. Picked up here looking for a centering pass. Edmondson with it back, and it's knocked out, and that might be trouble. Kerfoot is gone on a break. He scores! Alex Kerfoot. He goes forehand, backhand, back to forehand, and puts it through Carey Price for a third dish here for Toronto in the third period for a 3-1 lead. Late here in the third, look at the movement by Alex Kerfoot. Just a beautiful move. In tight, still had the Canadiens on him and still found a way to beat Carey Price. Well, Toronto looking to put away the first game of the year, a minute 35 away from doing so, up by 2 goals now. Draw one back into point ahead. Toronto had no goals coming into this period. Kerfoot drops it off. Here's a shot, Aston Reese, and it's blocked. Few Leafs looking for their first goal. Gallagher knocked free. Canadiens pull the goaltender. Here's Gallagher back inside again. Brody a good poke check, and sorry, that's Giordano. And he'll just fire it the length of the ice. It's blocked by a Canadian at center. Brought back again, Brendan Gallagher. At center, gave that away. Kerfoot back to Michael Bunting. Backhanded to the empty net. He scores! Michael Bunting puts it away with an empty net goal to make it 4-1. Here in the final minute of the first game of the year, Toronto will start the season on a W again. Well, look at what Michael Bunting does here. Kerfoot, unselfish. Could have shot it in the net himself for his second. Instead, he passes it over to Bunting. He goes to the backhand to the empty net. That puts us thing to bed. Fans here in Montreal get up to leave. The only goal scored by Montreal was an own goal by Toronto. It was stopped by Sjögren, and Brody accidentally deflected it back in his own goal off his stick. Here's Justin Hall. Montreal had a 1-0 lead heading into the third period. It was scoreless through one. Toronto 4 goals here in the third. Fired around. This finds Marner. Marner to the net. He moves in, and Price was open for a split second, but he made the stop. Seconds running down here. Here's Nylander. Brings it back inside. The Leafs center that far corner. Matthews looks in front, and that shot, and Price got a piece. Drouin. Here's Weidman. 7 seconds left. Monahan down the middle. Good defensive play. His shot won't make it to the goal. Matthews is there, and that will do it. Maple Leafs will celebrate the season opener with a 4-1 win against the Montreal Canadiens. They were down 1-0 to start the third. Matthews got the scoring started, and then the Leafs took off from there to win it 4-1. Well, it's not long before the Leafs will see Montreal in Scotiabank Arena. Just a few weeks. And they will see Montreal back in Toronto. But the Leafs have some heavy lifting to do as they take on the Capitals to start their homestand next game. Coming up now, the Belleville Senators and the Toronto Marlies from Belleville. Your final score tonight from Bell Center, Toronto 4, Montreal 1.